Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be back with this new video, and in this video I'm going to talk about some messages that I have for this end of the year 2022 and also the passage to 2023, what we can maybe prepare ourselves to for 2023. So as I mentioned last summer, we have been experiencing since October a kind of intensity that is growing. And this intensity is going to continue on into 2023, and I will be sharing with you my forecast for 2023 in the beginning of January. But what I can say already is that what I'm feeling strongly for 2023 is that it's almost like we are waiting for us at the turn. And I'll explain more of that in my next video. But for the time being, we are in this period which we can maybe notice is a bit dark. It's almost like there is this darkness that is increasing, and people around us, maybe they can reflect also this darkness. This is because the light is becoming stronger and stronger, and there is this exponential raising of frequencies on the earth, which also implies that the shadow is emerging more and more. And also the shadow, because it's almost like the shadow is being cornered, like, this wild beast. And I don't know if you've already seen a wild beast. When they are cornered, they become very, very aggressive because they have nothing to lose anymore. And it's almost like the shadow is really dropping all the last ammunitions. And this is why sometimes we can feel it's a bit more violent and a bit more dark. And of course, when I talk about wild beast, I also want to mention maybe the beast with a capital B, and I know that some of you know what I'm talking about, so it's the same thing. And they're just, realizing that there's nothing we can stop about this light that is these frequencies that are higher and higher and really being absorbed by the earth. And so everything that we could hide, everything that we didn't want to see, everything is really coming forward now for us to, become aware of. So we can really experience that, especially, in our entourage, people we know. Maybe they're becoming, very, very dark, or there's a lot of darkness coming up because it's their whole shadow that they haven't addressed yet that is coming up. So sometimes it's a bit difficult to navigate that, and that's also why light workers have been feeling so tired lately, so exhausted, sometimes burnt out, and this has been going on for the past years, but it's really like increasing now because it's almost like we feel we are at the forefront of something and we need to stay strong, but now we also, kind of feel all these energies that are going around, and our physical bodies are very tired because we are also absorbing these higher frequencies, and we also need to take the time to rest and kind of anchor all that in, especially our physical bodies. So if you feel tired, if you feel you need to take a break in your life, please do that, because it's very important for your physical body, but also on different subtle levels for you to take this pause. One of the reasons we are feeling or experiencing maybe darker things on the surface of the planet is because there is this raise in frequency and in light. There have been a lot of doors and portals that are being opened, and this is not only for this past year, it has been happening these past years actually. A lot of portals on the lower astral plane, so that means that a lot of the energy of the lower astral is coming up to the surface to be seen on Earth, because actually Gaia needs that to purge herself from that. So it's part of her process. And at the same time, there is also the higher astral realms that are, these doors and portals are opening as well. So this is why also we are bombarded with these high frequencies coming from the central sun, So we have really these two opposing energies, and it's almost like they gather in one point on the surface on this planet, and that's why we can really witness so much contrast on this planet right now. And because also the shadow is, kind of cornered and dropping the last ammunition, there is also something that I wanted to mention in this video, and that's there's something that has been happening since millennia on Earth, but now we can also feel that it's kind of increasing. But first of all, before I explain that, I just want to ask you a question. What is for you the greatest and most valuable resource on this planet? So, is it money? Is it material goods? Is it precious metals? Raw materials? What do you think? So actually, it's none of those. The highest value that you can find on this planet is within the energy, and especially the human energy. And it's almost like it's a commodity that is being exchanged from one side to another. And so we might also experience or witness what we call energy vampires. So people or things that actually suck our energy. And we need to really become aware of that, because right now it's very strong on planet Earth. And as I often like to say, the saying, where attention goes, energy flows. So we need to pay extra attention to what we are focusing on right now, or who we are focusing on right now, because we are giving that thing or that person our energy. And that's, like the kind of the door that we open when we give our attention to something, and we are not aware that at the same time our energy is being sucked, out of ourselves. So definitely energy vampires are legion on this planet. As I said, it has been happening for millennia, through certain entities and energies that are present all around us. But if we become more and more aware of it, we can also protect ourselves from it, and we can just, with our intention, hold on to our energy, or kind of recuperate also the energy that has been stolen from us. I know that sometimes it's hard also to keep the faith in these kind of times that we are going through, but we always need to remember that the night is always darkest just before dawn. So in other words, we are here in this period, and it's going to go, continue for the beginning of 2023, where we are going to see this darkness. We're going to be in the middle of this darkness, but we need to remind ourselves that it is necessary for this transition, for this transformation, and for the ascension of this planet. And I also wanted to mention what I shared almost a year ago. I published a video for the winter solstice where I had a very beautiful vision for 2022, and that vision was a Christic vision, because I saw a beautiful human heart filled with light opening up, and behind I saw this being, this magnificent being, light being that looked like Jesus, which was very Christ-like. And the message was really, now humanity is going to open up this Christic heart. The humanity is really going to follow this Christ path, we could say. And I've sort of put that aside for the entire year, and this year I'm just taking stock of this past year, as I'm sure you're doing too, because it's always an interesting time to do that and to reflect on what happened, what are the challenges that we went through, what we have learned, how we have grown, what we have left behind that we don't need anymore for the future, etc. And I was just thinking, wow, especially recently, I've been really, I've had these challenges that are very Christ-like challenges, and that's the message that came through, is that we are all on this path of, finding and allowing this Christ consciousness to emerge within, but it's also about finding our own inner Christ, our own inner master in a way. And in this process, we are on this Christic path where we go through some Christic initiations. And so certain challenges are clearly really kind of Christic, because, for example, this year I had a lot of things to do with betrayal, injustice, and also what this Christic path teaches us is how to elevate ourselves beyond these victim, perpetrator, savior patterns. Because when we think about it, Yeshua, when he was on that cross, he wasn't feeling like a victim. He wasn't victimizing himself. He had already transcended these patterns that are very, very deeply anchored into the human consciousness. He had already transcended that because he knew that this whole thing was really part of a bigger plan, a higher plan, a divine plan in a way. And that's what we are really invited to do also on our paths. So it's kind of really disidentifying with these victims or perpetrators or saviors identities that we might still sometimes have or that we had in the past. And finally, you know, the period of the holidays, December, I just love these times. I always feel there is so much magic in the air, and I know that I say that every year, I'm maybe repeating myself, but it's true. For me, it's a really magical time, and I always look forward to these times. And I know that sometimes Christmas, doesn't have the same feeling for everyone, and particularly in these times that we are living, and for the past years after what happened, maybe we don't feel this connection with our family anymore. Maybe there is some distance that has been put between us and our families, and maybe we even are scared to go back to see our families for Christmas or for the holidays, and it might, might feel resistant to that. So my advice, if you feel that it is the case for you, is to really imagine it within your body and imagine this scene where you are at the table maybe with your family this Christmas, and how do you feel when you are in contact with their energies? Do you feel that maybe the gap is too big? Maybe you feel that they're aggressive towards you because you don't have the same opinions or whatever, or you just feel that energetically it doesn't match anymore. So really start imagining and feeling that for you inside of you. Or you might also feel that you go there and maybe your heart is open and you manage to actually just be in compassion towards them and stay really in your hearts and kind of detached also towards what is going on or their energies. So whatever you are feeling, I think is really important to listen to, and then decide whether or not you want to go, because we don't have any obligations, and if it's too difficult, if it's too violent, if it doesn't fit for you anymore, then it's also maybe the time to make a different decision. But nevertheless, it's also really interesting to just connect to this magic that is in the air in this period. And magic is really something that we can experience outside of ourselves, but it's also something that we can connect inside. And magic for me is really the natural flow of the universe. Sometimes we can see it through synchronicities, etc. And the more we are in sync with that flow of the universe, the more we experience and manifest this magic within and, of course, without. So I really hope that you have a really nice holidays with your family this year, and lots of love and lots of warmth and lots of light for you. And I will see you probably next year with my forecast in January. Take care. Sat Nam.